The river never stopped calling me. Every morning I walked along its edge, feeling the cold wind bite my face. It had been 1 year since Eleanor was gone. 1 year since the river took her. The sound of the water was the same every day. Calm, steady, cruel. I carried her memory with me like a scar. That evening the sky turned gray and the air grew heavy. I felt rain coming. Toby, my old dog, walked beside me. He barked once, then stopped, sniffing the wind. "Easy, boy," I said softly. "It's just the storm." But then I saw something in the water. A shape, dark and still, drifting near the bend. My chest tightened. "Toby," I whispered. "Stay." I ran down the muddy bank. The current moved fast, stronger than I remembered. For a second I thought I was dreaming again, like all those nights when I saw her hand reaching out. But this time it was real. A person. I threw off my coat and boots and jumped in. The cold hit me hard, cutting through my skin. The water tasted like dirt and metal. I swam fast, pushing against the pull of the current until I reached the body. It was a woman. Her face was pale, her hair tangled in riverweed. I grabbed her by the shoulders and turned her over. "Hey! Can you hear me?" I shouted. Her head rolled weakly. No answer. I dragged her toward the shore, coughing as the current fought me. My arms burned, but I didn't stop. I wasn't losing another soul to this river. When I pulled her onto the mud, I dropped beside her, breathless. Her lips were blue, her dress torn. "Toby!" I called. The dog ran over, barking loud, circling us. I pressed my ear to her chest. Faint breath. She was alive. I turned her head to the side and hit her back gently. She coughed, water spilling from her mouth. "That's it," I said. "Breathe, ma'am." "Come on." She gasped again, shivering hard. Her hand moved slightly. I caught it to feel her pulse, weak but there. And that's when I saw it. The ring. My stomach dropped. The gold band was thin and familiar, the small blue stone chipped at the edge, the same mark I remembered. I froze. My fingers shook as I touched it. "No, it couldn't be. Where did you get this?" I whispered. The woman moaned softly, eyes still closed. I looked closer. She wasn't Eleanor. Her face was different. Younger maybe, her hair darker. But the ring. It was hers. My heart slammed against my ribs. "Who are you?" The woman didn't answer. She lay still, her breathing shallow. Rain started falling, slow, cold drops on my neck. I lifted her in my arms and carried her toward the cabin. Toby ran ahead, barking through the storm. The path was slick and I stumbled twice, but I didn't let her go. Inside, I laid her near the fire. Her skin was like ice. I grabbed a blanket and wrapped her tight. She stirred, whispering something. "What?" I leaned closer. "Don't let him," she breathed. Her voice was weak but clear enough to send chills down my spine. "Who?" I asked. "Who did this to you?" But her eyes rolled back, and she fell silent again. I sat beside her, staring at that ring glowing in the firelight. I'd buried Eleanor with it. I saw it on her finger the day we lowered her into the ground. My hands trembled. My mind screamed, "Toby," I said quietly. "Am I losing it?" The dog only whined and lay at my feet. I couldn't stay still. I got up and poured water into a cup, trying to calm myself. My thoughts spun fast, louder than the rain outside. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't the same ring. Maybe, but I knew every scratch, every shine. I'd saved for months to buy it. I'd held it in my palm the day I asked Eleanor to be my wife. I looked at the woman again. Her hands were scraped, her nails broken, dirt under them. Her dress was torn at the shoulder. She didn't look like a thief. She looked like someone running. When she coughed again, I knelt beside her. "Easy," I said softly. "You're safe here." Her eyelids fluttered. For a second I saw her eyes, gray, almost silver. "Where am I?" she asked, voice weak. "My cabin." "You were in the river." She tried to sit up but winced. "The river." She looked around, confused. "How did I get here?" "I pulled you out," I said. "You almost drowned." Her gaze dropped to her hand. The ring caught the firelight again. She saw me staring at it, her fingers curled over it. "Where did you get that ring?" I asked, my voice low. She hesitated. "It was given to me." "By who?" Her lips trembled. "A woman, Eleanor!" The name hit me like a bullet. I stood up fast. What did you say? She looked frightened. She told me to keep it safe. That's not possible, I said. Eleanor's dead. The woman's eyes widened. You're her husband. My breath caught. How do you know that? She told me your name. The room felt small closing in. When? A year ago, she whispered. Before the storm. My heart pounded. You knew her? Tears filled her eyes. I tried to help her. I swear I did. I stepped back, gripping the edge of the table. Help her with what? She didn't answer. Her shoulders shook as she cried. Tell me, I shouted. Tell me what happened. Her voice broke. She was afraid. She said someone was following her. The wind howled outside, shaking the windows. Who? I asked again. She shook her head. I don't know. She just said, if anything happened, find Samuel Reed. Hearing my name from her mouth sent a cold wave through me. She continued, voice cracking. I found you too late. The fire popped, a spark jumping from the logs. Too late for what? I whispered. To save her, she said. I sank into the chair, staring into the flames. My chest felt tight, my throat dry. I buried her by the oak hill, I said quietly. She didn't make it across. The woman looked down. The river took more than you know. What does that mean? She looked at me with tired eyes. It doesn't just take, it hides, I frowned. Hides what? The truth, she said. Lightning flashed through the window, lighting her face. For a second, she didn't look like a stranger at all. She looked like someone who'd seen the same pain I had. Then she fell back against the chair, fainting again. I caught her before she hit the floor and laid her on the bed. I watched her breathe. Slow, fragile, alive. That ring glowed faintly in the firelight, as if mocking me. I remembered Eleanor's last words before the storm. If I don't come back, forgive me. Now her ring was on another woman's hand. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what she wanted. But I knew one thing. This wasn't over. The river had given something back tonight, and I was going to find out why. The room smelled like river water and smoke. I carried her inside, dripping and cold. Her hair was tangled with weeds. Her face was pale as ash. I laid her near the fire and called out, Toby, stay! The dog whined but sat near the door. I wrapped a blanket around her and stared at her left hand. The gold ring glowed in the firelight, Eleanor's ring. I knew every mark on it. The small dent near the edge. The line where my wife once scratched it on a nail. My throat closed. I whispered, it can't be. The wind pushed against the cabin walls. I couldn't breathe. My hands shook. I reached for her wrist. Her pulse was faint, but it was there. I ran to the door and shouted, Dr. Shaw! Someone, anyone! The valley gave me nothing back, just the river's low growl. I grabbed my coat and boots, left her wrapped in blankets, and ran toward town. By the time Dr. Shaw came, the sun had vanished. His lantern cut through the dark like a small moon. He stepped in, breathing hard. What happened? I pulled her from the river, I said. She's alive but weak. He crouched beside her. You did right. The current's been cruel lately. He pressed his hand to her forehead and frowned. She's burning up. She almost drowned, I said. Can you help? I'll do what I can. He checked her pulse again, cleaned her cuts, and poured medicine into her mouth. She needs rest, he said softly. She'll wake soon. Keep her warm, I nodded, staring at the ring. My eyes couldn't leave it, he noticed. That's a fine band, he said. Belong to someone you know? I didn't answer. I couldn't. He packed his bag and gave me a small bottle. For her fever, he said. If she wakes, keep her calm. Sometimes folks forget who they are after near drowning. Forget? I asked. He looked at me with tired eyes. The river takes more than breath, Samuel. When he left, the room fell silent again. I sat in the chair by her side. The fire popped. The dog snored softly near the door. Her hand moved, slowly, weakly. I leaned forward. Her lips trembled. Water, she whispered. I poured from the jug and lifted her head. She drank, her eyes still closed. Then she opened them. Blue, clear, afraid. She looked around. Where am I? My cabin, I said. You were drowning. I pulled you out. She blinked at me, confused. You saved me? Yes. She looked down at herself, saw the blanket, and tried to sit up. My bag, it's gone, I said. The river took it. Her breath caught. Everything I had. I'm sorry, I said. She looked at her hand, the ring still there. She touched it, then froze when she saw me watching. My heart pounded. "That ring," I said. "Where did you get it?" She pulled her hand back. "It's mine." "No," I said, my voice sharp. "It belonged to my wife." Her eyes widened. "Your wife?" "Yes, Eleanor." The name scraped my throat raw. She wore that ring until the river took her a year ago. She looked at me like I'd spoken something impossible. "Eleanor? Tell me where you found it." She hesitated, eyes darting toward the fire. "It was given to me," she said softly. "By who?" Her voice shook. "A friend." "What friend?" I asked. Her lips parted. "Eleanor." The room went cold. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. "You're lying," I said finally. "I'm not," she said, her voice trembling. "She gave it to me before she—" "Before what?" I snapped. She flinched. "Before she disappeared." "She didn't disappear," I said. She drowned, her eyes filled with tears. "I tried to help her." "I swear I did." I stepped closer. "You knew her?" "Yes." "How?" "She came to me," she said. "She said she was afraid. She said someone was watching her." My hands clenched. "Who?" She shook her head. "I don't know." "She was scared." "She said she had to leave before it was too late." I felt dizzy. The air grew heavy. "She said she loved you," the woman whispered. "And she was sorry." "Sorry?" I repeated. "Sorry for what?" "She didn't tell me," she said. "Only that she couldn't go home." I stared at the fire. My wife's voice came back in a memory. "If you ever can't find me, don't come looking." I'd thought it was nonsense. Just her fear of storms. But now, I turned to the woman again. "What's your name?" She hesitated. "Clara. Where are you from?" "North," she said quickly. "Near the border. Why were you in my river?" She looked down. "I was trying to cross." "Cross?" "I was running," she whispered. "From who?" Her lips pressed tight. "I can't say." "You better try," I said. Her eyes met mine. "If I speak, he'll find me." "Who?" She closed her eyes. "The one who killed her." The fire cracked loud. I took a step back. "You're saying Eleanor was not an accident," she said. "She didn't fall." "Then what happened?" I demanded. Clara began to cry. "I can't. Please don't make me." I felt anger rise like floodwater. "You came here wearing her ring, saying her name, and you expect me to stay silent?" "I didn't mean to," she said. "I didn't even know this was your land." I laughed bitterly. "Then fate has a cruel sense of humor." She looked at me, shaking. "You don't understand." "Then help me," I said. "Make me understand." She bit her lip. "Eleanor came to me a year ago. She said she couldn't trust the sheriff anymore. She said she found something she shouldn't have." "The sheriff?" I asked. "Hale?" She nodded. "He was dealing with smugglers. She saw something and tried to tell someone. I told her to hide. She gave me this ring and said, 'If I don't come back, keep it safe.' And she never came back." I said quietly. "No." I sat down, my hands covering my face. "God help me," I whispered. She reached for me. "I'm sorry. I thought you knew. I thought she drowned," I said. "Everyone did. She didn't," Clara said softly. "He made it look that way." The firelight danced over her face, pale, wet with tears. I wanted to believe her, but part of me couldn't. "How do I know you're not lying?" I asked. "You don't," she said. "But the truth is still there, waiting." I looked at the ring again. The small dent, the mark, the proof. My chest ached. "Why come back now?" I asked. "I wasn't coming back," she said. "I was trying to leave. But someone followed me. They wanted the letter she wrote." "Letter?" Clara nodded. "She left one for you." "Where?" "In her Bible," she whispered. "She hid it under the cabin floor." My pulse raced. "How do you know that?" "She told me before she disappeared. I thought it was gone." "But if you still have the Bible?" I stood, shaking. "It's here. Always has been." She looked at me, scared. "Then it's still there." I went to the shelf and took it down. Old dust rose into the air. The leather felt heavy in my hands. "Under the floor?" I asked. "Yes, inside a small crack near the hearth." I moved the rug, pried up one board. The sound echoed in the quiet room. There, a folded piece of paper, yellowed, fragile. My hands trembled as I lifted it. The writing was faint, but I knew it. "Eleanor's." My throat closed. I didn't open it. "Not yet." Clara's voice broke the silence. "Now you see I didn't lie." I turned to her. "Why help me?" She stared into the fire. "Because she asked me to." The paper shook in my hand. You could have burned this, I said. I almost did, she whispered. But I couldn't. She loved you too much. The room felt too small for the truth. I sat back down. What's in this letter? She looked at the window. Only she can tell you that. I wanted to read it, but my hands refused to move. Fear sat heavy in my chest, fear of what I'd find. Clara watched me quiet. You'll read it when you're ready, she said softly. I stared at her face, the firelight warm against her wet hair. Why do I feel like I've met you before? I asked. Maybe because she spoke of you often, she said. She said you were kind once. Once, I muttered. You still are, she said. I shook my head. No, that man drowned with her. She looked down at the ring again. Then maybe she meant for me to find you. Maybe she wanted you to know. Her words hung in the air like a prayer. Outside, the wind slowed. The fire whispered low. I held the letter tight in my hands. Clara leaned back against the wall, eyes half closed. I owe her everything, she said. I owe you too. You owe me nothing, I said. She smiled faintly. Then let me stay until I'm strong enough to leave. I hesitated. You'll tell me everything when you can. She nodded weakly. I will. I promise. I looked at her, the woman who wore my wife's ring, the stranger who carried my past back from the dead. And for the first time in a year, I felt something other than grief. I felt fear, fear that the truth was only beginning. It rained for 3 days straight. The sound never stopped. It filled the cabin like a heartbeat that wouldn't rest. I watched the water slide down the window. The river outside was rising again. It always did this time of year. But now it felt different. It felt alive, angry maybe. She sat near the fire, her hands still. The light flickered on her face. Neither of us spoke much those days. I didn't ask questions. She didn't offer answers. On the third night, I finally said, You don't plan on talking forever, do you? She looked up slowly. Talking won't change what happened. What did happen? I asked. She stared at the flames. Too much, I sighed. You can't stay here forever without a name, she hesitated. Clara. Clara what? Her lips trembled. Just Clara, I nodded. All right, Clara. You planning to stay till the rain stops? She gave a weak smile. If you'll let me. I stood up and went to the window. You don't owe me anything, but I'll need the truth sometime. She didn't answer. I could feel her eyes on my back. The rain hit harder like it wanted to drown the world again. The next morning I found her outside. She was chopping wood. Her dress was soaked through, her hair clinging to her face. You'll freeze, I said, stepping into the mud. She shook her head. I needed to do something. You don't have to work here, I told her. I can't sit still, she said. Sitting still hurts. I didn't argue. I handed her my old coat. At least wear this. She looked at me, really looked at me, and then took it. Thank you. I watched her for a while. She swung the axe hard like she was fighting something I couldn't see. When she stopped, she rubbed her wrist and winced. That's when I saw them. Faint lines, pale scars. How'd you get those? I asked. She froze. It was a long time ago. Someone do that to you? She looked down. Sometimes we do it to ourselves. The words hit deep. I didn't say more. Inside, she cooked for the first time. The smell of stew filled the cabin, and for a moment, it felt like home again. I sat at the table. You cook better than me. That's not hard, she said softly. I chuckled. True. She placed the bowl in front of me. Eat, you look tired. I've been tired a long time, I said. She sat across from me. You lost someone, didn't you? I looked at her. How'd you know? The way you stare at the fire, she said. It's how I used to look too. I swallowed hard. My wife a year ago, she lowered her spoon. I'm sorry, it was the river, I said. Storm took her horse. Took her too. Her eyes moved to the window. The river doesn't take without reason. What's that supposed to mean? She looked at me then. Really looked, like she wanted to say something dangerous. Sometimes the river gives back what it keeps. I frowned. You're talking in circles. Maybe, she said. But you'll understand soon. That night, the rain grew heavier. The river sounded closer. I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing humming. Soft, slow, familiar. It was her. She was sitting by the window watching the storm. The tune she hummed made my chest tighten. I knew that song. My wife used to sing it while washing dishes. She said it came from her mother. I stepped closer. Where did you learn that? She didn't turn. What? That song. She kept humming, almost like she didn't hear me. I raised my voice. I said, where did you learn it? She stopped. I don't know. It just came to me. I stared at her. That's not a song people just know. She finally turned. Her face was pale, her eyes steady. Why does it matter? Because my wife used to sing it, I said quietly. Silence filled the room. The fire cracked once, then died down. She looked at the floor. I didn't mean anything by it. I took a breath. You said your name is Clara? You sure that's true? Yes. You sure you've never been here before? Her lips parted. No, I haven't. I stepped closer. Then why does it feel like you have? She whispered, because maybe I was meant to. Her voice sent a chill through me. The next day, I tried to focus on work, but the air in the cabin was thick with silence. She swept the floor, cleaned the table, fed the dog. Every move she made felt careful, like she was walking on broken glass. I tried to talk again at noon. You ever been married? Her hand froze on the broom. Once. What happened? He left, she said. You leave him? No. Then what? She stared at the window. He didn't come back. Her words stung. Too close to home. I said nothing for a long time. Then she whispered, Do you think the dead forgive us? I looked up. For what? For surviving them. I didn't answer. I couldn't. That evening, the rain finally slowed. The air smelled of wet earth and smoke. We sat on the porch, watching the river move. She held a cup of tea, her fingers shaking slightly. I said, You've been running from something. She said, Maybe I've been running toward something. What's that mean? She took a deep breath. Do you believe people can start over? Sometimes, I said, if they tell the truth first. She looked at the river. Truth hurts more than lies. Hurts less than hiding, I replied. She turned to me, her eyes wet. You really think so? I know so, she nodded slowly. Then maybe I owe you something. I leaned forward. You owe me the truth. She put down her cup. You keep asking about the ring. I froze. Yeah. You think it belonged to your wife? I know it did, I said. I'd recognize it anywhere. She looked down at her hands. You're right. My stomach tightened. Where did you get it? Her voice dropped to a whisper. She gave it to me. I couldn't speak. The rain started again, soft and cold. She didn't drown, Clara said. She ran. The words hit me like a bullet. What did you say? She ran, she repeated, trembling. She didn't die that night. I stood up fast. You're lying. I'm not, she said. She told me she had to go. I grabbed her arm. Go where? Why? She shook her head, tears mixing with rain. I don't know. She said you'd never understand. My heart pounded. You saw her alive? I tried to stop her, she said. But she was scared. Scared of what? She looked away. Of you, I stepped back, stunned. That's not true. She said she loved you, Clara whispered. But she couldn't stay. The sound of the river grew louder, roaring like it wanted to drown us both. I shouted, Tell me everything. I can't, she cried. Not yet. Why not? Because you're not ready to hear it. I stared at her, shaking. You think you know me? She nodded weakly. I know what grief does. I turned away, gripping the railing. Get some sleep, I said coldly. She didn't move. You asked for truth, she whispered. Now you have it. The door closed behind her. That night I didn't sleep. The rain came harder, louder, endless. Every drop felt like a heartbeat against the roof. I couldn't stop hearing her words, and she didn't drown. She ran. I stared at the fire until it died. Then I walked outside. The river was swollen and wild. The current shimmered under the moonlight. I stood there, rain soaking through my shirt. I whispered, Eleanor. Where did you go? The wind shifted, carrying a soft echo across the water. I thought I heard her voice, faint, broken, calling my name. Find the truth, Samuel. I froze. My breath caught. The river moved faster, silver in the dark. I didn't know if it was a dream or a curse. But I knew one thing. The past wasn't done with me yet, not by a long shot. The morning came cold and gray. Mist rolled over the river like smoke, hiding the far bank. I didn't sleep much. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that ring on Clara's hand, my wife's ring. The thought burned in my chest like fire. I saddled my horse just after sunrise. The ground was wet, my boots heavy with mud. Clara stood near the porch, arms folded tight. "Where are you going?" she asked softly. "To town," I said. Her eyes dropped. "To see him?" "Yes, Sheriff Hale." She looked pale. "You don't need to." "I do," I said. "I want answers." She shook her head. "He won't tell you." "Then I'll make him." She stepped closer. "Samuel, please, don't stir the past." "The past is already here," I said. "It came back wearing your hand." She flinched but said nothing. The silence cut deeper than words. I rode out before she could speak again. The air was thick, the smell of wet earth rising around me. My horse snorted uneasy. The path to town felt longer than usual. Every sound, wind, crow, hoofbeat, echoed like a memory. By the time I reached Main Street, the town was waking. A few men leaned on the saloon rail. Someone swept dust from the porch of the general store. They all looked at me. I felt their stares, quiet and sharp. The sheriff's office stood at the end of the street, next to the jail. A black horse was tied out front. I stepped off my horse, boots thudding against the boards. My hand touched the door. I pushed it open. He was sitting behind the desk, hat low, cleaning his revolver. "Samuel," he said without looking up. "Didn't expect you this early." "I couldn't sleep," I said. He smiled faintly. "Still haunted by that river?" "I found something in it," I said. He looked up now. His eyes, cold pale gray. "Oh, a woman," I said. "Drowned near the bend. Barely alive." He set his gun down. "And?" "She wore Eleanor's ring." For a second his jaw tightened. "That so?" "It's hers," I said. "Same mark inside the band. You remember it." He leaned back. "Rings travel, Samuel. People sell, trade, steal. Doesn't mean a thing. It means everything to me." He sighed. "You're still chasing ghosts." "I just want truth." He stood slowly, belt creaking under his gun. "Truth? The truth is your wife's gone. You buried her. Best thing you can do is let the dead stay buried." Something in his tone froze me. "Too smooth. Too final. What do you know about her death?" I asked. He smiled, small, cold. "What everyone knows. She drowned. You said it yourself." "I never saw her body," I said. "The current took it. Maybe it took more." His eyes narrowed. "You suggesting something?" "I'm asking something." He stepped closer. "You think I had something to do with your wife?" "I don't know," I said. "But you're nervous for a man with nothing to hide." He laughed once, low and hard. "Careful, Samuel. Grief makes men foolish." "Maybe," I said. "But guilt makes them talk too much." He stopped laughing. "You need to leave." "Not until you tell me how that woman got Eleanor's ring." He slammed his hand on the desk. "You're finished asking questions." The door behind me opened. I turned fast. It was his daughter, Lily. Light brown hair, sharp eyes like her mother's. She carried a book and looked surprised. "Everything all right?" she asked. Hale forced a smile. "Go home, Lily," she frowned. "What's wrong?" "Go," he said again, harder. She glanced at me. I didn't speak, but I saw something flicker in her eyes. Doubt, maybe fear. I tipped my hat. "I'll go." "Good," he said, voice tight. "And don't come back." I stepped outside. The air felt different, heavy, close. The sky was turning bright, but it didn't feel like morning. Behind me, the door creaked again. Soft footsteps followed. "Wait," a voice whispered. I turned. Lily stood at the edge of the porch looking both ways before stepping closer. "You shouldn't talk to him when he's angry," she said. "I noticed," I said. Her hands trembled slightly. "He doesn't like the past, especially not that river." "Why not?" She hesitated. "Because of your wife." I stared at her. "What do you mean?" She looked down. "I was 15 when it happened." "I heard things. My father came home that night. Wet, angry. He said something broke, something he couldn't fix." My chest went cold. "You're saying he was there?" She looked around again, whispering. "I don't know. But he told the men to stop asking about her. Said it was better that way." I swallowed hard. "And you never told anyone?" "Who'd believe me?" she said. "He's the sheriff." My hands shook. "He told me she drowned trying to cross the river." "Maybe she did," she said softly. "But maybe she didn't go alone." I took a step closer. "Lily, listen. There's a woman staying at my place. She wore my wife's ring. She said she knew Eleanor." Lily's eyes widened. "She's alive?" "No," I said. "Not Eleanor. The other woman. Her name's Clara." She whispered the name to herself, thinking. "I've heard that name." "Where?" "From my father," she said. "He told someone she left town years ago that she was trouble." "Trouble?" Yes, he said she stole something from him. What? She hesitated. A letter. My pulse jumped. A letter? Yes, she said. He said it could ruin him. I exhaled slowly. The world tilted. Maybe that letter was from my wife. She looked pale. You think he... I don't think, I said. I know something's wrong. She touched my arm gently. Be careful, Samuel. If he thinks you're digging, he'll bury you too. Her voice trembled. She looked scared. I nodded. Thank you, Lily. She stepped back, eyes wet. I wish someone had helped her sooner. Before I could answer, the door behind her opened again. Sheriff Hale stood there, expression flat. Inside Lily, she froze. Yes, sir. He looked at me calm and cold. Still here? Just leaving, I said. Do that, he replied. And take your ghosts with you. I turned and walked away. My boots hit the boards hard, each step louder than the last. When I reached my horse, my hands shook as I grabbed the reins. The sun was high now, but I felt cold inside. As I rode out of town, I passed the church. Pastor Miller stood outside, sweeping the steps. He waved. Morning, Samuel, he called. You look troubled. Always, I said. He smiled sadly. Still the river? Still the past, I said. He leaned on his broom. You can't fight ghosts, my friend. Maybe not, I said. But I can find the men who made them. He frowned. Careful. The truth cuts deep. I'm already bleeding, I said. He nodded slowly. Then go with faith. I rode on. The wind hit my face, sharp and clean. The river came into view again, twisting through the valley, quiet, shining, full of secrets. By the time I reached the cabin, the sky had turned gold. Smoke rose from the chimney. Clara stood outside, feeding the dog. She looked up as I stopped. You went, she said. I did. And? He told me to forget. Her eyes darkened. And will you? No, I said. Not now. She looked at the ground. He'll come after you. Let him. She stepped closer. Samuel, please, I cut her off. He was there, Clara, the night she died. Lily saw him wet, angry, afraid. Clara froze. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Tell me, I said. What do you know about him? She looked away. Too much. Then tell me, I said again. All of it. She met my eyes. If I do, you won't forgive me. Try me. Her voice broke. He wasn't alone that night. I felt the air leave my chest. You mean, yes, she said. I was there too. The words hit like thunder. The world seemed to stop. Before I could speak, she turned and walked inside, leaving me standing in the yard, heart pounding like the river after rain. I looked toward the dark horizon where the sheriff's house sat hidden in the hills. His eyes were in my head now. Cold, gray watching, and I knew I wasn't done. I was just beginning. The day was quiet. The rain had stopped after 3 nights of wind and thunder. I walked around the cabin, fixing the broken floorboard near the window. The air smelled of wet wood and old dust. My hands were sore, but work kept my mind steady. Clara sat near the fire, sewing a torn shirt. She hummed that same soft tune again, the one my wife used to sing. Every time I heard it, something inside me twisted. You know that song? I asked. She looked up, startled. It's just a melody I remember. From where? She pressed her lips together. From a long time ago. I didn't push. I turned back to the floorboard, pulled it up, and found an old box underneath. Dust filled the air as I opened it. Inside were small things, a cracked picture frame, a dried flower, and my wife's Bible. My chest went tight. I sat down and opened it. The pages were soft and yellow. Her handwriting filled the margins, small prayers, notes, verses she loved. Then something slipped out and fell to the floor. A folded letter, sealed but worn by time. What's that? Clara asked. I didn't answer. My hands shook as I opened it. The writing was my wife's. I'd know it anywhere. I read slowly. If you're reading this, I couldn't stay. Forgive me, that was all. No reason, no goodbye. Just those words. My throat went dry. Clara, I whispered, you should see this. She came closer, wiping her hands on her skirt. What is it? I handed her the letter. She read it once, then again. Her face went pale. Clara, I said. You know something. She looked away. Don't lie to me. My voice was low. You said you knew Eleanor. She didn't speak. Her fingers trembled around the paper. Tell me, I said again. Please. Her eyes filled with tears. I tried to save her, she whispered. My heart stopped. Save her? From what? She shook her head. He came first. Who? She pressed her hands over her mouth. I can't. You can, I said. You owe me that truth. Clara took a shaky breath. If I speak, someone will come for me. For you too, I stared at her. You think I care about that? She backed away from the table. You don't understand. Then make me, I said. Tell me what happened. Her eyes filled with fear. The night she died. She wasn't alone. I stepped closer. What do you mean? She didn't fall, Clara said softly. She ran. Ran? From who? I told her not to go near the river, she said. But she said she had to meet someone. I felt the room spin. Who was it? Clara turned her face away. The sheriff. The word hit like a gunshot. Sheriff Hale? She nodded. He told her he could help her. He said he'd keep her safe. Safe from what? Clara whispered. From her own husband's mistakes. I felt the blood drain from my face. You think I... No, she said quickly. She never blamed you. But she was scared. She said someone found out about the deal your brother made. She thought they'd come for you. I sat down hard. The air felt heavy, pressing on my chest. And the river? Clara's voice broke. She met him there. I followed her. I saw them argue. Then he pushed her. I stared at her. The sheriff? Tears ran down her cheeks. I tried to pull her out. But the water, it was too fast. I pressed my hands over my face. No, she drowned. Clara shook her head. She hit the rocks. He left her there. The room went silent. The fire crackled. Outside, the wind sighed through the trees. I stood slowly. My body felt heavy. You saw all this? Yes. And you never told anyone? She dropped her gaze. He said he'd kill me if I did. I turned to the window. The sky had gone gray again. The rain started falling, soft at first, then steady. You've been carrying this all this time? I asked. Clara nodded. I tried to forget. But when I saw you, I couldn't. I held the letter in my hand again. The paper was soft, fragile, like her voice. Forgive me. She thought I'd hate her, I said quietly. She loved you, Clara whispered. She wanted to protect you. I sat down, feeling the weight of every word. And the ring? Why did you have it? Clara wiped her eyes. She gave it to me before she went. Said if she didn't come back, I should keep it safe. And you wore it. I didn't mean to show you, she said. But I couldn't throw it away. I stared at the fire. The flames blurred through tears. You should have told me. I was scared. So was she, I said. We sat in silence for a long time. The storm grew louder, the roof dripping. My dog barked outside, breaking the quiet. Finally, Clara spoke. What will you do now? I don't know. My voice sounded far away. Part of me wants to go to the sheriff. The other part? The other part? Wants to see if God still listens. Clara looked at me gently. You think faith can fix this? I don't know, I said. But I used to believe forgiveness was easy. Now it feels like punishment. She nodded slowly. Sometimes it is. I looked down at the letter again. The ink had bled from my wet hands. If she wrote this, she wanted me to forgive her. But how do I forgive myself? Clara didn't answer. I failed her, I said. I let her go to that river alone. She didn't blame you, Clara whispered. She blamed him. I leaned back in the chair. Then I'll make sure he answers for it. Her eyes widened. Don't. I have to, I said. She deserves peace. And you? I don't know what I deserve. The rain fell harder. The fire hissed. I folded the letter carefully and put it back in the Bible. You'll stay here tonight, I said. Why? It's not safe out there, I said. Not if the sheriff knows you're talking. Clara nodded. He always knows. I met her eyes. Not this time. She looked at me sadly. Samuel, you can't fight him alone. I gave a faint smile. I've fought worse. She stared at me for a moment, then said softly, If you go down that road, you won't come back. I picked up my coat. Neither did she. The look on Clara's face broke something in me. She wanted to stop me, but she didn't. I stepped outside. The rain hit my face, cold and sharp. The river's sound echoed through the hills, deep and alive. I felt it calling, the same way it did the night she died. I looked down at my hands, rough, trembling, dirty from work and grief. I'll find the truth, I whispered. I promise. The wind carried my words away. Behind me, I heard Clara's voice from the door. If you go to him, be ready. He doesn't forgive. I didn't turn. Neither do I. The rain fell harder, washing the dirt from the steps. Somewhere far away, thunder rolled over the water. The letter burned in my mind. Every word, every line. I couldn't stay. Forgive me, I closed my eyes. I'll try, I said. But not yet. The night swallowed my voice. The river roared louder, and I knew the truth had just begun. The smell of smoke woke me. I sat up fast. The sky outside the window glowed red. Clara, I shouted. Clara, where are you? I ran outside barefoot, the cold ground wet under my feet. The wind blew hard, carrying sparks. The barn stood on the hill, and flames licked its roof like hungry tongues. The horses screamed inside. I grabbed a bucket, but it was useless. The fire was too strong. Clara came running from the cabin, her dress wet from the rain. Samuel, what's happening? The barn, I said, coughing. It's burning, she froze. Oh, God, get back, I told her. It could fall, she shook her head. No, the horses! I'll get them, I said. Stay back. I ran toward the barn, covering my mouth with my sleeve. The door handle was hot. I kicked it open. Heat rushed over me like a wave. I saw one horse kicking the gate, terrified. Easy, boy, I shouted. I cut the rope, slapped his side, and watched him bolt through the smoke. My eyes burned. My throat felt like sand. Then I heard another sound, a weak cry. It wasn't a horse. It was human. Clara? I yelled. I'm here. She shouted back. I turned and saw her by the door, her hands shaking. You shouldn't be here, I yelled. I couldn't just stand there, she said, coughing. I pulled her out. The roof cracked above us. Flames dropped near my shoulder. I pushed her outside and fell on the dirt beside her. The barn collapsed behind us with a roar. Clara covered her face. It's gone. I looked at the red sky. Everything I built, I whispered. All gone. She turned toward me, tears mixing with ash. Because of me. What? They'll say I did it, she said. They'll say I burned it. Why would they? I asked. Because they already hate me, she said. Because I carry her ring. Because I brought you pain. That's not true, I said. But she stood up and backed away. You don't understand. Then make me, I said. Tell me why you said her name. Tell me why you had her ring, her voice broke. I can't, not now. You have to, I shouted. She shook her head and ran. Clara! I chased her into the night. Rain started to fall, cold, heavy, hard. The fire hissed behind us. My legs ached, but I kept running. The forest loomed dark. Branches clawed at my face. I saw her white dress flash between trees. Stop! I called. Please! She didn't. When I finally caught up, she stood at the edge of the old bridge, the same place where Eleanor had died. The river below roared, swollen from rain. The water looked black, endless. Don't come closer, she said. I'm not here to hurt you. You already did, she said softly. I stopped a few steps away. Tell me the truth, Clara. She turned, rain running down her face. You want truth? Fine, he lied to both of us. Who? The sheriff, she said. Doran Hale, what are you talking about? She clenched her fists. Your wife didn't die the way you think. My chest tightened. What do you mean? She was alive when she went into that river. She wasn't alone. Clara, stop. She met with him, she said. She was going to tell you something that night. But he stopped her. The world spun. You're lying. I wish I was, she said. She tried to leave, Samuel. She wanted to tell you everything. What everything? I shouted. Tell me! But before she could speak, we heard the sound of hooves behind us, fast, hard, angry. Clara's eyes went wide. He's here, the sheriff's voice cut through the rain. Step away from her, Reed. I turned. Doran Hale sat on his black horse, 2 deputies behind him, rifles pointed our way. His hat dripped water, his face cold as stone. Sheriff, I said, breathing heavy. You came fast. I saw the fire, he said. And I saw her running. She didn't do it, I said. He smiled thinly. That's not what the town says. The town doesn't know her, neither do you, he said. You forget who she is. I stepped forward. I know enough. Do you? He asked. You think she's some lost widow? She's a thief, a liar. That's not true, I said. She worked with your wife, he said. They tried to ruin me, Clara shouted. You ruined yourself. He glared at her. Quiet. You killed her, Clara said. You killed Eleanor? The deputies shifted uneasily. The rain fell harder. Hale sneered. Big words from a woman who set fire to a man's barn. She saved me, I said. You don't even know her story. He raised his rifle. Move aside, Reed. No, this isn't your fight. It became mine when I saw that ring, I said. For a moment his expression changed, just slightly. Then he laughed. You think a ring proves something? It proves enough, I said. It proves she knew Eleanor. She knew her all right, he said. They both wanted me dead. Lightning flashed. Thunder rolled through the hills. Put the gun down, Hale, I said. Let her go. You think you can order me? No, I said quietly. But I can end this. I took a slow step forward. He aimed at me. One more step and you'll join your wife, Clara screamed. Stop. The deputies hesitated. One of them whispered, Sheriff. Shut up, Hale said. You don't know what she did. Clara's voice broke. You lied to everyone. You said she drowned alone. You told him she slipped. But you were there. I froze. He was there? Yes, Clara cried. He was there when she fell. Hale's eyes went dark. Enough, he fired. The bullet hit the bridge post. Wood splintered. Clara stumbled back. I rushed forward, grabbed her arm, and pulled her to the side. She fell into my chest, shaking. The deputies lowered their rifles, uncertain. Sheriff, stop, one said. This ain't right. She's a criminal, Hale yelled. She's a witness, I said. And so am I. He pointed his gun again. Then you'll both die with her. Another lightning strike lit the sky. Before he could fire again, his horse reared, spooked by thunder. Hale dropped his rifle. The horse bolted, throwing him off balance. He hit the ground hard, mud splashing. Clara clung to me, gasping. He won't stop. Then we run, I said. We ran across the bridge, water slapping our boots. Behind us, Hale shouted, You can't hide forever! The sound of the river swallowed his words. On the other side, we collapsed under an old oak. Rain poured through the branches. Clara sobbed into her hands. He killed her, Samuel. He killed your wife. I looked at her, my heart breaking. And you saw it? She nodded weakly. I tried to stop him. I failed. I took her hands, cold and shaking. You didn't fail. You lived. That's what matters now. She looked at me through tears. He'll come for us. Let him, I said. This time I'm ready. Lightning flashed again, lighting her face. For a second she looked like Eleanor, strong, broken, beautiful. The rain kept falling. The fire burned low on the hill. Everything I knew had turned to ash. But in that storm, holding Clara close, I felt something new, not peace, not yet. But purpose, I whispered. It ends with me. She closed her eyes and leaned against my shoulder. The river roared below, carrying secrets we could no longer bury, and somewhere in that sound, I heard Eleanor's voice again, soft, sad, and free. The jail cell smelled of rust and rain. I sat on the cold floor, my hands cuffed, staring at the cracks in the wall. I could hear the storm outside, thunder rolling like judgment. Then I heard the door open. Samuel, a soft voice said. I looked up. Clara stood there, pale under the lantern light. Her dress was torn, her hair wet. A deputy pushed her inside and locked the door behind her. You two can talk, he said. But make it quick. The door slammed shut. Clara took a shaky breath. I didn't want you here, she whispered. I stood. Then why am I? She looked away. Because of me. Because of what I did. I stepped closer. Then tell me, Clara, all of it. She shook her head. You'll hate me. I already hate myself, I said quietly. So go on. She leaned against the wall, her voice trembling. Eleanor was my friend. The words hit like a blade. What did you say? She nodded. Your wife? I met her months before she died. She came to town for medicine. She was kind, soft. She spoke about you. Said you worked too hard but loved her deeply. I swallowed hard. She said that? She did, Clara said. But she was scared too. Scared. I frowned. Of what? Of Sheriff Hale, she said. He ran more than law. He ran trade. Things brought through the river at night. Your wife found out. My heart pounded. That's not possible. She never... She did, Clara cut in. She came to me for help. She said she found ledgers hidden in the church barn. Names, payments, stolen goods. She wanted to show you, but she feared you wouldn't believe her. I stared at the floor. Why wouldn't I? Because she said you'd grown distant, Clara said softly. She said you were angry since the fire at your dock. She didn't want to burden you. I clenched my fists. I was angry at myself, not her. She thought otherwise, Clara said. That night she planned to leave, to bring the papers to the marshal. She asked me to meet her by the river. My breath caught. The night she died, Clara nodded slowly. Yes. Lightning flashed outside. For a moment her face looked ghostly. almost like Eleanor's. What happened? I asked. Clara's eyes filled with tears. He came first. The sheriff. He told her to stay quiet. She refused. They argued near the bridge. I hid in the trees, too afraid to move. I stepped closer. And? Clara covered her face. He pushed her. The cell went silent except for the storm. My knees weakened. No, I whispered. No, you're lying. She shook her head. I wish I was. She hit the water hard. The current was strong. I ran down the bank, but she never came up. I pressed my hands against the wall, trying to breathe. You could have saved her. I tried. She cried. I jumped in, but the river took her. I screamed until my voice broke. My voice cracked. Then why didn't you tell me? I did, she said, her voice small. I wrote you a letter. I never got it. I gave it to him, she whispered. The sheriff. I thought he'd deliver it. I laughed bitterly. He burned it, she nodded. I know that now. I sat back on the cot. And the ring? She pulled it from her pocket, holding it out in her shaking hand. I took it from her finger before the water carried her away. I thought I could keep her memory safe, proof of what he did. I stared at it. My wife's ring. The same gold band I'd placed on her hand under the oak tree. Clara's voice broke. But when he found me with it, he called me a thief. He said if I spoke, he'd do the same to me. My jaw tightened. So you ran, she nodded. For a year. I moved from town to town, until I ended up in that river again. You almost died, I said. Maybe I wanted to, she whispered. I couldn't live with it anymore. The rain outside softened. I looked at her, at the guilt carved into her face. She trusted you, Clara said quietly. She told me you'd come if she was in danger. But you didn't. The words sank deep. I felt something break inside me. I was home that night, I said slowly, waiting for her. Angry she was late. I thought she stayed with friends. I didn't go looking. Clara's tears fell. You couldn't have known. I should have, I said. I promised to protect her. She sat beside me. You loved her. I still do, I said. Even now. She forgave you, Clara said softly. Before she fell, she whispered your name. I turned to her sharply. You heard that? She nodded. She said, tell him I forgive him. My throat tightened. God help me. We sat in silence for a long time. The rain stopped. The sound of dripping water filled the room. I kept her secret too long, Clara said. I thought silence would keep me safe. But it only kept him free. You risked everything to tell me, I said. She smiled faintly. She would have done the same for me. The door opened suddenly. Sheriff Hale stood there, gun at his side. His face was calm, but his eyes burned. Well, he said. Quite the bedtime story. Clara stiffened. You murderer, he grinned. Careful what you say in my jail, I stood. You killed her. I saved this town, he said coldly. Your wife was going to ruin everything. Sometimes good men have to do hard things. You're no good man, I said. He aimed his gun at me. You won't live to say that again. Before he could fire, a voice shouted from outside. Pa, stop! It was Lily. Hale froze. Go home, girl. No, she cried. I know what you did. He turned toward the sound and I lunged forward. The gun went off in a deafening crack. The bullet hit the wall. I grabbed his arm, slamming it against the bars. Clara screamed. Hale stumbled back, bleeding from his shoulder. You'll regret this, he hissed. He stumbled out of the cell, slamming the door behind him. The sound of galloping horses followed, his men leaving with him. I looked at Clara. Are you hurt? She shook her head. No, are you? Not yet, I said. But he'll be back. She took my hands. You have to end this. I will, I said. But not with anger. Her eyes searched mine. Then how? With truth, I said quietly. The same truth she died for. Clara nodded slowly. Then I'll help you. We sat together, the ring between us, gleaming faintly in the dim light. Outside, the thunder faded. For the first time, I didn't hear the river's rage. I heard its silence, heavy, waiting. I knew what had to come next. Tomorrow would bring reckoning, and maybe finally peace. The sky was still dark when I woke. The cell smelled of iron and rain. My back hurt from the wooden floor. My wrists burned from the rope. I heard boots outside. Samuel, a whisper came. I sat up fast. Lily? Yes, quiet. She held a key in her hand. Father's drunk. He'll sleep till sunrise. Why are you doing this? I asked. She looked down. Because he lied. To you. To everyone, the key turned, soft and sharp. The door creaked open. I stepped out. "Clara?" I asked. "She's gone," Lily said. He took her to the river shack. I froze. "Why?" "He's hiding something there," she said. "The goods your wife tried to expose." I stared at her. "You knew?" "I found her name in his books," Lily whispered. "He was smuggling silver, using her papers." My stomach turned. "So Eleanor was right." "She tried to stop him," Lily said. "That's why she died." The words hit like a bullet. "Come," I said. "We end this now," Lily nodded. "Take my horse." "I'll follow." The morning wind cut cold as we rode. The town still slept. The ground shimmered with dew. The sun hadn't yet touched the hills. I gripped the reins tight. "He'll be waiting," Lily whispered. "He won't expect you free." The road to the river was silent. The smell of wet grass filled the air. My hands shook, but not from fear. When we reached the clearing, I saw him. The sheriff stood by the shack, his hat low, his coat dark. Clara knelt beside a barrel, her hands tied. "Morning, Samuel," he called. His voice was smooth. "You're up early." I dismounted slowly. "Let her go," he laughed. "She stole from me." "She told the truth," I said. He smiled, thin. "Truth doesn't pay, son." "Power does." "She wore my wife's ring," I said. "You gave it to her." He tilted his head. "Ah, that ring. Pretty thing. Where did you get it?" He grinned. "Your wife gave it to me before she drowned." The world went quiet. My breath stopped. "She trusted you," I said. He shrugged. "She trusted the wrong man." My hand went to my gun. "You killed her," he smirked. "She got in the way." Lily stepped forward. "Father, stop this!" "Go home, Lily," he snapped. "This isn't your fight." "It is," she shouted. "You murdered her." His face twisted. "You don't know what you're saying." I stepped closer. "You drowned her to keep your secret." He drew his revolver. "You think you're a saint, Samuel?" "You left her alone. You drove her to me." "Liar," I said. He raised the gun. "You don't have the guts to finish this." I stared down his barrel. The morning light cut through the fog. My heart beat slow and loud. "She begged me," he said. "Begged to live." I gave her peace instead. Rage boiled in me. My gun rose, steady and sure. "Do it," he said, grinning. "Avenge her." I aimed at his chest. My finger trembled. "Shoot me, and you become me," he said. "You'll never sleep again." Behind him, Clara whispered, "Samuel." "Don't," her voice cracked. "Please." The wind blew hard across the river. I saw the reflection of the dawn, red and gold. I lowered the gun. He laughed. "You're weak." "No," I said. "You already drowned enough souls." His smile faded. "You're done, Hale," Lily said. She raised her pistol, hands shaking. "You'll pay for what you did." He turned to her. "Put it down, girl." "I won't," she said. "Not again." Clara pulled her tied hands free and grabbed a rock. She swung it, hitting his wrist. The gun fired wild and loud. Birds scattered. Smoke filled the air. I rushed him, knocked the gun away, and we fell into the mud. He hit hard but kicked me off. The river roared behind us. "You can't stop me," he said. "I already have," I said. He lunged, and we both slipped near the edge. The current was strong. Water splashed against the rocks. "Let go," I said. "Never," he growled. He swung, but I ducked and hit him back. His hat flew into the river. He grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the edge. We struggled, both slipping. Then Clara shouted, "Enough!" We both looked. She stood there holding something small. "The ring. This is what you killed for," she said. Her voice shook. "This is what ruined us all." She stepped closer to the water. "Clara, don't," I said. She looked at me, her eyes wet. "Eleanor wanted peace. You want revenge. He wants power. But this ring," she raised it high. "This is only pain." The sheriff tried to reach her. "Don't you dare!" She threw the ring into the river. It flashed once, then sank. Silence. The sheriff froze. His face went pale. "No." He turned to dive after it, but the mud gave way. He slipped, his hand grabbing air. I reached for him, but he fell. The water swallowed him whole. Lily screamed. Clara covered her mouth. The river went still again. I stood there, chest burning, hands shaking. "He's gone," Lily said. I nodded. The river took him. We watched the current carry foam downstream. The sky was gold now, the sun finally rising. Clara whispered, "It's over." "Maybe," I said. I walked to the water's edge. The surface shimmered. I thought I saw the ring glint beneath, then vanish. I thought killing him would bring peace, I said. But it feels empty, because revenge never fills, Clara said. Lily wiped her eyes. What will you do now? I don't know, I said. Maybe start again. You can, Clara said softly. She'd want that. I looked at her. You knew her well. She nodded. She trusted me. She told me about you. About your silence, your guilt. I swallowed hard. She said I was cold. She said you were afraid to love again, Clara whispered. You both were. The river wind cooled my face. I failed her, I said. No, Clara said. You failed yourself. But not anymore. Lily looked at us both. He's gone. His crimes will come to light. I'll tell the truth, I nodded. You're brave. She smiled sadly. Bravery doesn't bring peace. It just starts it. We left the riverbank together. The horses waited near the trees. As we rode back, the morning sun warmed the hills. I could still hear the river behind me, soft and steady like a heartbeat. Do you think she forgave me? I asked quietly. Clara turned. She already did, I didn't answer. The wind carried her words through the valley. When we reached the edge of town, Lily stopped. I can't go further. People will ask. You've done enough, I said. She nodded. Take care of her? I will. She rode off, her figure fading in the dust. Clara and I rode in silence. The world felt lighter somehow, though my heart still hurt. Where will you go now? She asked. Home, I said. Is that still the cabin? It's wherever peace is, I said. She smiled. Then maybe I'll come too. I looked at her. You sure? I've run long enough, she said. Time to stop. We reached the ridge overlooking the river. The water below shimmered gold. Clara dismounted and stood beside me. She's there, she said. I know, I said. She'd want you to let go. I'm trying, I whispered. The wind moved through the grass. The air smelled clean, free. She found peace, Clara said. So did I said quietly. In a way, she looked at me. And him? The river keeps what it needs, I said. She nodded. We stood in silence. The sun rose higher, bright and calm. For the first time I felt no anger, no hate. Only the sound of water and the warmth of light. The reckoning was done. And for once I didn't need revenge. I needed peace. The river had taken her, then him. Now it gave me back to myself. I closed my eyes, breathed deep, and whispered, Forgive me. The wind carried it away, and the river answered with silence. The sky was gray that morning. Clouds hung low, pressing against the hills. The river moved fast, brown and heavy with rain. I stood on the bank with Clara. The sheriff's tracks led straight into the water. He went in here, I said quietly. Clara nodded. He won't come out. I looked down at the water. The same place it took Eleanor. She closed her eyes. Maybe that's where justice lives now. The sheriff's hat floated by, turning slowly in the current. I didn't move. I just watched it go. Do you feel sorry for him? Clara asked. No, I said. But I don't feel angry anymore either. She sighed. Anger's a heavy thing. I carried it long enough, I said. We stood there in silence, the river roaring below. Then Lily appeared behind us, pale and trembling. Her clothes were soaked, her boots covered in mud. My father's gone, isn't he? She asked. I nodded. The river took him. She looked at the water. He used to bring me here when I was small. Said it was a peaceful place. Peace can turn fast, I said. She bit her lip. I tried to stop him. I told him to turn himself in. I know, I said softly. You did what you could. Clara stepped closer. He made his choices, Lily. You don't need to carry them. Lily's voice broke. He wasn't always like this. Something changed in him. I said nothing. I just looked at the water again. It was all I could do. After a long moment, Lily turned away. I'll tell the town, she said. They'll find what's left. Don't tell them everything, I said. She frowned. Why not? Let the truth end here, I said. No more pain. No more names. Clara touched my arm. He's right, she said. Let the river keep what it took. Lily wiped her face. What will you do now? I looked at Clara. We'll stay for a while. Then maybe move west. Lily nodded. Good. You both deserve quiet. She walked away slowly, her figure fading into the fog. The sound of her footsteps disappeared. Only the river stayed. Clara sat on a rock, hugging her knees. It's strange, she said. I thought I'd feel happy. But I don't. It's not joy, I said. It's release. She looked up. Do you think Eleanor's at peace now? I nodded. Yes, I think she's free. Clara reached into her pocket and pulled out the ring. It shone faintly even in the dim light. This doesn't belong to me, she said. It doesn't belong to anyone, I said. She stood, walked to the edge, and held the ring above the water. Goodbye, she whispered. Then she dropped it. The gold flashed once before sinking. The current took it fast, carrying it downstream, spinning it in the brown waves. I felt something loosen inside me. For the first time in years, I could breathe without guilt. She's free now, Clara said again. Yes, I said, and so are we. We sat together on the wet ground, watching the river move. The sky began to open, letting pale sunlight through the clouds. Clara leaned her head on my shoulder. You know, she said softly, when I met her, she talked about you. I turned to her. She did? She said you were stubborn. Said you'd never stop loving her. I smiled a little. She was right. She wanted to leave Samuel. But she never stopped caring for you. I know now, I said. I just wish I'd listened before. Clara sighed. You can't change what's gone. No, I said. But I can keep it from killing me. The river kept running, calmer now. The sound was softer, like breathing. She believed you'd forgive her one day, Clara said. I think I just did. Clara smiled faintly. Then that's enough. We sat there a long time, neither speaking. The light grew warmer, touching the trees. After a while I stood and walked to the old oak tree near the cabin. I dug a small hole with my hands. The soil was damp and smelled of life. Clara watched me quietly. What are you doing? She asked. I found her letter, I said. The one she left behind. She nodded. You kept it. I couldn't burn it, I said. So I'll bury it here. She smiled sadly. It's a good place. Close to the water. I placed the folded paper in the hole. My hands shook a little. The words inside didn't hurt anymore. They felt gentle, like a memory that finally rested. I covered it with soil and pressed it flat. Rest easy, I whispered. Clara walked up behind me and took my hand. You've carried this for too long. It's lighter now, I said. She smiled. The river took what it needed. It gave something back too, I said. She tilted her head. What's that? Peace, I said simply. She nodded. Then it was worth it. We stood there for a long time. The river sparkled under the sun, clean and bright again. The wind moved through the grass, whispering softly. Clara broke the silence. Do you ever think she wanted this? What do you mean? For us to find each other after her. I thought about it. Maybe she knew I'd need someone to keep me alive. Clara smiled. She chose well. I don't deserve either of you, I said. Stop saying that, she whispered. You've done enough. I looked at her face, tired, scarred, but strong. You remind me of her, I said. She smiled gently. Then maybe that's why we understand each other. The wind picked up again, and we turned toward the cabin. Toby barked from the porch, wagging his tail. Clara laughed. He's calling us in. He always did hate silence, I said. We walked back slowly. The earth was soft under our boots. Every step felt lighter than the last. Clara stopped and looked back at the river. Do you think it remembers? Maybe, I said. But it keeps moving, like we should, she nodded. Then let's keep moving. I opened the door to the cabin. The fire inside was low but warm. The smell of smoke and rain mixed in the air. Clara set a kettle on the stove. Tea? Please, I said. She smiled. You sound tired. I'm not tired, I said. Just done fighting. She poured the water slowly. That's what peace sounds like. I sat by the window and looked out at the river. It shimmered in the light. I could almost see Eleanor's face in the ripples, calm, smiling, forgiven. Goodbye, I whispered. Clara turned. What did you say? Nothing, I said. Just talking to an old friend. She handed me a cup. Then drink to her. I raised it. To her, I said softly, and to what the river kept. Clara clinked her cup against mine. And to what it gave back. We drank in silence, the warmth filling the room. Outside, the river kept moving, calm and endless. For the first time in years, it didn't sound like loss. It sounded like peace. The snow melted early that year. The river ran smooth, quiet, and clear. The sound of it no longer haunted me. It felt like breathing again. Clara stood near the porch, brushing dust from her hands. You work too hard, she said. I smiled. You talk too much. She laughed softly. Someone has to fill the silence. The silence isn't bad, I said. It used to be heavy. Now it feels clean. She leaned on the fence, watching the water glint in sunlight. The town's already forgotten, haven't they? People forget fast, I said. They need to. She turned to me. And you? I don't forget, I said. But I forgive. Her eyes softened. That's harder than revenge. It took me a year, I said. A long, lonely year. She walked closer. You don't look lonely anymore. I'm not, I said. Not since you came. The air smelled of pine and fresh soil. The cabin we rebuilt stood solid again. The roof no longer leaked. The field stretched wide, green and full of hope. Clara looked around. It feels new. It is, I said. Every board here knows peace now, she smiled. You sound like a preacher, I chuckled. I sound like a fool who's tired of pain, she laughed, a sound light as wind through grass. Then be tired. You've earned rest. I set my hammer down. Clara, you ever think about leaving? Leaving where? She asked. This place, this town, the river. She looked toward the water. I used to dream of running far. But now, I don't need to. Why not? I asked. Because peace isn't in distance, she said. It's in forgiveness. I nodded. You sound wiser than I remember, she smiled. Pain teaches fast. The river shimmered like glass. The current was soft now, gentle. For months I feared it. Now I heard something different in its sound. Not sorrow, but calm. Clara stepped beside me. You visit it every morning. I do, I said. It's like saying sorry to her. She asked. To myself, I said quietly. She watched me. Do you still dream about her? Sometimes, I said. But she's not crying anymore. She just stands by the river and smiles. Clara nodded. Maybe she forgave you first. Maybe, I said. Maybe that's why I'm still here. We stood in silence for a while. The birds called in the trees. The sound of water filled the air, steady and kind. I planted something, Clara said suddenly. What did you plant? By the oak near the river, she said. Roses. Roses? I repeated. She loved them, didn't she? Clara asked. I swallowed. She did. I thought it was time, she said. I looked at her. You don't have to do things for her. I didn't, she said softly. I did it for you. The words hit deep. I couldn't answer right away. Clara, I said finally, you saved more than my life. She smiled faintly. We saved each other. I walked toward the river with her following. The sun hit the water like gold. The roses near the oak were small, just beginning to bloom. They'll grow strong, she said. Like you, I said. Like us, she corrected. I nodded. Like us. The wind brushed the surface of the river. It made a sound like a sigh, soft and full. You ever think she's here? I asked. Maybe not here, Clara said. But in what you became. I looked at her. And what did I become? A man who chose peace over pain, she said. That's rare. I didn't know how before, I said. No, I just let go, she smiled. That's all it ever takes. We sat on the bank for a long time. The water shimmered. The dog lay near us, tail still, eyes half closed. Do you regret anything? Clara asked. I regret holding hate for so long, I said. It took pieces of me I can't get back. But you got something better, she said. Like what? Grace, she said. I looked down at my hands. They were rough-lined, scarred, but steady now. Yeah, I said. Grace. Clara leaned her head against my shoulder. You don't talk about her much anymore. I don't need to, I said. She's at peace. That's enough. Clara looked at me. And you? I'm learning, I said. Day by day, she nodded. That's living. We watched a hawk circle high above the hills. The sky was open and wide, endless blue. You know, Clara said, she'd want you to live again. I turned to her. I am, I said quietly. I finally am. Her eyes glistened. She reached for my hand. Then we can start over. Start what? I asked. Life, she said simply. Without ghosts. Without fear. I squeezed her hand gently. With faith instead, she smiled. Yes, faith and peace. The wind carried the smell of wet earth and spring blossoms. The roses trembled in the light breeze. I used to hate this river, I said. I know, she whispered. Now I think it was never cruel, I said. Just honest. It only gave back what was lost, she said. I nodded. And now it keeps our peace, she smiled. It sounds beautiful. It is, I said. It sounds like forgiveness. We sat together as the day faded. The river sang softly, a song of ending and beginning. I closed my eyes. The sound wrapped around me, not heavy, not cold. Just real. For a long time, I had run from everything. The truth, the pain, the memory. Now I sat still and let it all be. The river didn't ask for anything. It simply flowed, carrying everything away. Hate, grief, guilt, until only peace remained. Clara whispered, "You're quiet." "I'm listening," I said. "To what?" "The sound," I said. "It's her. It's the river. It's life." She smiled through tears. "It's forgiveness," I nodded. "It is." The sun dipped low. Light danced on the water. The dog barked once, chasing a bird into the sky. Clara stood and looked down at me. "You coming?" "In a minute," I said. She walked back toward the cabin, her steps soft on the grass. I stayed by the river. The roses glowed faint pink in the light. I whispered, "Goodbye, Eleanor." The wind moved through the leaves, gentle, warm, and kind. I smiled. "Thank you." Then I turned toward the cabin, toward the sound of life waiting for me. The river kept singing behind me, and for the first time, I didn't look back.